Everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon Ninja Nation. And today I will be looking over the deck list. I used to win back-to-back regionals, which is pretty impressive. So I was able to win back-to-back regionals. I was able to win Wisconsin regionals and Edmonton regionals. So I'm going to show you guys the deck list. But first off, here's the trophy that I won from Edmonton, and it looks pretty nice. So let's get right into the deck. So this is a Yvetal Archeops deck, which I ran. This is my third week deck list, so we'll get right into it. We start off by running one Shaman EX just for the setup ability, pretty standard. Next we run one Darkrai. It is really good for the Dark Cloak. Makes it where we have free retreat for each Pokemon that has Dark Energy attached to it. And Night Spear actually came in really clutch in the finals, just because I was able to take 4 prize cards off a Night Marcher using Night Spear, which it was very strong. Next up, we have one Yvetal Oblivion Wing for energy acceleration. It's also just a good overall attacker. It also has Darkness Blade to do 100 damage, and if you flip a coin, if tails, it can attack during your next turn. I don't think I ever used it in the tournament, but it's mainly there for its Oblivion Wing. Next up, we have 2 Yvetal with Fright Knight, and this was probably the MVP of the tournament. In the finals, just won me the Night March match. I took 4 prize cards in one turn because I was able to just put up Yvetal, Fright Knight, and Pitch Black Spear for the knockout. It was amazing. Overall, this guy is my MVP over the 2 weekends. Next up, we have 2 Yvetal EX. I guess you can say your main attacker with the Evil Ball attack. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both of your active Pokemon. So this is a very strong attack. You can just load up Yvetal and deal crazy amounts of damage. So Yvetal EX. Y-Cyclone is also good when you're about to die or in the mirror match. You can keep on cycloning between 2 Yvetal. You can keep on switching. Next up, we have one Archeops with the Ancient Power to shut off Pokemon that can evolve. So Trevenant is not that big, but it still stops that. Greninja, Vespiquen, Flareon. So Archeops is a very strong card overall. But the attacker I probably got out more times is Gallade. Now, because there was a lot of speed Darkrai this weekend, this card was so clutch. Just one-shotting Darkrai is so strong with Gallade. So Gallade was very helpful for this weekend. Premonition, where you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. And Sensitive Blade, which can deal 130 damage if you play a supporter card. So overall, very strong for me over this weekend. Next up, we have one Jirachi to help out our consistency, just to keep on drawing supporters and help us in our maxis. Next up, we have one Mewtwo. Now, Trainer Wolf did also run this, and I learned this to play it. Mewtwo was pretty good over the weekend, just hitting other Mewtwo's for respawn KOs, and it's just a quick attachment in a DCE, where you don't have to attach a Dark and DCE. So it's one less card you have to commit to Mewtwo. So very strong card over the weekend. And to close off the Pokemon, we have one Keldeo, really strong just for the rush and retreat. Since lasers are really big, it really helps us to just get out of it. Onto our item cards, we run 3 Battle Compressor just to get rid of our maxi stuff and our energy so we can use Dark Patch. Next up, we have our one Aspect, and I went with Computer Search. You could go for Dowsing Machine, but I just went for a computer search just to have max consistency in pulling off the maxis. Also, just searching for any card you want is extremely strong. Next up, we have 4 Dark Patch. This is just what makes the deck so good. If we had this in Standard, Yvetal would probably be one of the top decks, but sadly we don't. But Dark Patch, extremely strong card, just getting energy acceleration for your dark Pokemon, helping us respond KO almost anything. Next up, we have 3 Hypnotoxic Laser. I feel like this card is really strong. Just getting the extra 10 damage was very helpful over the weekend, and sleep flips were really crucial. So overall, Hypnotoxic Laser stayed in my list both weekends. Next up, we have 3 Trainer's Mail to dig for our items and supporters, just maxing out the consistency for maxis and just consistency overall. Next up, we have 4 Ultra Ball to search for a Pokemon. This can also lower our hand size to pull off maxis easier. Then we have 4 VS Seeker to reuse our supporter cards. Then we have 1 AZ. This is a really strong card. If you start something in the active, you could just AZ it up. And if an Yvetal is damaged, you can AZ up a Yvetal, put up a Keldeo, attach Dark Patch, and keep on going with your attacks. So AZ is also a good healing card. Next up, we have 1 Colress. It's extremely strong for the shuffle draw. Usually I'm Colressing for 10, so extremely strong draw supporter. Next up, we have 1 Getsis. This was really good again against Night March. Speed Darkrai once. In one game, I actually took away Speed Darkrai's whole hand just by playing Getsis turn 1. So this was also a very good card for me over the weekend. Just making your opponent reveal his or her hand, and taking all item cards from there. Next up, we have 1 Hex Maniac. I ran 1 Hex Maniac just to shut off Raikou Eels, because when you can take a knockout and Hex in the same turn, it basically slows them down a lot. Also, this is really good for like Archie's Blastoise, which has still been seeing some play in my division. So 1 Hex Maniac, still pretty good. Next up, we have 1 Lysander to bring up any of our opponent's Pokemon. Pretty standard stuff. Every deck should run at least 1 Lysander. Next up, we have 1 Maxis. I don't feel like I really wanted 2, just because I usually didn't price it in testing. So I went with the 1 Maxis, and it worked out fine for me. Next up, we have 1 N. I wish I ran 2 of this card, just because there was one time where I could not find N in my deck, and that would have possibly won me the game. So, N, really strong card, just making our opponent go down to a low hand size, and good shuffle draw. Next up, we have 2 Professor Sycamore. This is a little on the low side, but we have a compressor engine and all those stuff, so we should be drawing through our deck pretty quickly. And I actually play lasers, but I play the Parallel City Silent Lab version, just because I feel that this is a more destructive. And so Parallel City, just putting our opponent down to 3 most of the time, is extremely strong. And we also have 2 Silent Lab. It was really good for shutting off Mew and Night March this weekend, and Speed Darkrai, when you could put down Silent Lab and stop them in their tracks. So, Silent Lab, really good card. Next up, we have 2 Fighting Fury Bolts, and this just gave my Pokemon a lot more HP and making them hit for 10 more damage. So I think if you're deciding between Fighting Fury Belt and Muscle Bend, I think you should choose Fighting Fury Belt. Next up, we have 1 Floatstone. Now, I only ran 1. I actually really didn't use Keldeo a lot this weekend. It was just Darkrai. But Floatstone is still a really good card. If we are stuck in the active, we could just give a Floatstone to something, usually Keldeo, and just retreat out of the active. And to end off the deck, we have 4 DCE. and 6 dark energy. I didn't feel like I needed more than 6 dark energy this weekend. I feel it was fine with all the acceleration and getting energy back. So that's the deck profile.